Why hello there, and welcome to part 3 out of 4 of my exciting look into the 1D&D, aka Dungeon & Dragon, Expert Classes Playtest Packet. And in this particular installment, I will be looking at the changes made, such as they are, to the Rogue, aka the Stabby Boy. And because it's the third one of these I've had to do, I'm getting tired of trying to do clever intros, so let's just get into it. The Rogue's hit points, saves, skills, tool, and armor proficiencies remain unchanged, but now instead of being proficient in simple weapons, hand crossbows, longbows, rapiers, and short swords, they are proficient in simple weapons and martial weapons with the finesse property. So overall, they lost proficiency in the longsword, unless it has been made finesse, and hand crossbow, unless it has been made simple, but gain proficiency in the whip, unless it has been made exotic. And that is a big overarching issue with these playtest packets. They only really address content that is in the packet. Like in the glossary, they included an update to the short sword to specify that it is now a simple weapon because there's a short sword in the bard starting equipment. Actually, all 3 characters' starting equipments, but the bard would no longer be proficient with the short sword if not for it being made a simple weapon. And, I don't know, maybe other weapons have been changed too. So it's entirely possible that the hand crossbow, which the bard and rogue have lost proficiency in, they haven't actually lost proficiency in because it's now a simple weapon, like a light crossbow. But we don't know that because a hand crossbow was not specifically mentioned, and therefore any updates to it were not included. Anyway, at first level, the rogue still gets expertise, which grants double proficiency bonus on 2 skills, and then you get a second helping of that at 7th level. Sneak attack is exactly the same, 1/2 level d6 added to your damage once per turn when you have advantage or an ally adjacent to the target, although it has been slightly more clearly explained. Thieves' Cant now grants Thieves' Cant and an additional language instead of Thieves' Cant and knowledge of secret signs and symbols, and that's a thing I don't particularly like. Possibly. It is, once again, a thing where it's what is explained and what is not. Because I like the rogues having their own secret roguish hobo code. However, maybe that is still part of Thieves' Cant. We don't have, that much of a description of Thieves' Cant in this playtest packet. So I do not know if they have actually lost a feature, or if they've just gained a bonus language, and the thing that I thought was lost is actually just part of the main thing now. At 2nd level, Cunning action remains unchanged. You can use a bonus action to take a dash, disengage, or hide action. And at 3rd level, you get your Rogue subclass, the features from which have mostly been moved up 3 levels, and the only subclass provided in this playtest packet is the Thief, so we're gonna look at the Thief. At 3rd level, Fast Hands now lets you pick a pocket or use the search action, in addition to picking a lock or disarming a trap, but no longer allows you to use an object. And Second Story Work still removes the speed penalty while climbing, although it is now you get a climb speed, and now you get to use your dexterity in place of strength when making a jump check, instead of adding your dexterity modifier in feet to the distance of a jump. And that second one, obviously much better. Supreme Sneak has moved from level 9 to 6, and now grants advantage on stealth checks when you are wearing light or no armor, instead of when you move no more than half your speed. Use Magic Device has been moved from level 13 to 10, and now instead of just letting you use magic items regardless of any class, race, or level restrictions, it allows you to attune to up to 4 magic items at once, gives you a 1 in 6 chance of not expending a charge when using a magic item, and also allows you to use scrolls of 1st level and lower, or, higher with a successful Arcana check. And finally, Thieves Reflexes has been moved from level 17 to 14, and now instead of giving you an extra action in the first round of combat, It gives you a number of bonus actions equal to your proficiency bonus that can be used for your cunning actions. So overall, the only real major changes were to use Magic Device and Thieves Reflexes, and I kinda like the changes that were made. Use Magic Device is a bit more powerful, and Thieves Reflexes is a bit weaker, but overall I like the direction that they're both going in. I really like the idea of a skill-focused rogue, and getting extra actions that you can use for your cunning roguish actions seems like a better bonus than getting an extra turn in the first round of combat, because that only works in the first round of combat, and also doesn't really work out of combat. So it's a lesser bonus, but a bonus that you get more often. Also, moving the feature from level 17 to 14 means that more people are actually going to be able to use the ability, since there is something of a massive drop-off in the number of players who are going to be using the content at, every level after 10. Probably more like 7. And the Use Magic Device, I don't know how restrictive the magic items are going to be with those class, race, and level requirements that they no longer can ignore, but if those have been relaxed, then the rogue, even if they get access to fewer magic items, are going to be able to use the magic items that they have better, and also scrolls. And now back to the main class features. The ability score increases gained at levels 4, 8, 10. The rogue gets an extra one at 10. 12, 16, and 19 have been replaced with feats. Thing that I'm kind of getting tired of saying because I have to say it for every class. At 5th level, Uncanny Dodge remains the same, half damage from an attack as a reaction. Evasion has been moved from level 7 to 9. At level 11, Reliable Talent remains the same, minimum of 10 on an ability roll in which you are proficient. And at level 13, you get the first fully new ability in this rogue redesign, Subtle Strikes, which grants advantage on attack rolls made against enemies who are adjacent to at least one of your allies. So it is a thing that very much piggybacks on the tactics you are going to already be using in order to get your sneak attack. But then in exchange for that, at level 14, Blind Sense is lost. You still get Slippery Mind at level 15, but it now provides proficiency in Wisdom and Charisma saving throws instead of just Wisdom. Elusive has been moved from level 18 to 17, but otherwise remains the same, basically giving you immunity to advantage on attack rolls against you. And Stroke of Luck has been moved from level 20 to 18, which is probably why Elusive was moved to 17, and now lets you treat any failed roll as a 20, not just a skill check, once per interrest period. Then at level 20, you get the Epic Boon. All of the classes get the Epic Boon, a thing I will be discussing more in the next video. But the recommended Epic Boon for the Rogue is the Epic Boon of Undetectability, which makes you undetectable by any means, mundane or magical, while you are hidden. So as I keep saying, they are slightly overpowered abilities. That's kind of the idea behind them. And I have thoughts on them, but as I said, next video. And that was the Dungeon & Dragon Rogue. Kind of a shorter video because there just wasn't that much to talk about. Overall, it's like one feature lost, one feature gained, one made moderately better, one made moderately worse, even though personally I kind of thematically and functionally like the worse version of that ability. But overall, there is very little change. Like, in the reveal trailer, when they were saying how, oh, this is not a new edition, it's just a slight refinement of the 5th edition rules we made, which are oh so good, they are the best rules ever, and we're just tooling around, we're not making any major changes. This is what I was expecting. Because here's the thing, when compared to the aggressive slapdash redesign of the Bard and the Ranger, the Rogue kind of feels out of place. Like, it feels like it was either the only class that they actually cared enough to put actual effort into, or the one that they cared least about and thought they were doing a really good job with the Bard and the Ranger. But overall, the Rogue redesign is just kind of mildly good. Like, it's a small net positive, but a net positive nonetheless. As I said earlier, I like the idea of the skill-based rogue, and things like expanded actions you can perform with fast hands and extra cunning actions with Thieves Reflexes do lend to that. Personally, I would like to see it pushed even further. Like, not every class needs to be focused entirely around combat. However, I know that some people would very much not like that and would be more than happy if you just got an extra die of sneak attack at every level. Unfortunately, the fact that it's just kind of okay means I don't really have that much to say about it, because the Dungeon and Dragon Rogue is basically just the 5th edition Rogue, and that was okay and this is okay. So I guess that is the end of this video. So thank you for watching, with extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Samuel Gorski, Randy Mulholland, and Toshiro Okuro. If you would like to be cool like them, you can check out my Patreon. You can get early access to videos, you can get fun stuff that I make for the Patreon. There is so much stuff you can get, but you know what? If you don't want to do that, that's cool too. You can still hit all of the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos that either myself or the cold, heartless YouTube algorithm have lovingly selected for you, which I am sure are lovely videos that you will also enjoy. And I will see you next time with the exciting conclusion to the series where I talk about this playtest packet. I'm going to be talking about, like, the feats and stuff. Alright, bye.